Jason Riveiro, publisher, MBA, Xavier University, expected 2013, a BA, University of St. Thomas, 2004, Southwest Ohio Regional Transit Authority, board member, Cincinnati Human Relations Commission, NAACP Freedom Fighter Award, top 40, under 40 business courier.
My name is Jason Riveiro, and I am also a first-time candidate. However, I've been involved in various issues and programs here in our city, primarily with the Latino community. You might have been familiar with a national convention that came over here this summer, the LULAC National Convention. I also sit on several boards, including SORTA and Cincinnati Human Relations Commission, and from that perspective, I was able to really gain some perspective that few people are able to see, and I was motivated to get involved in this political process around three areas of which I feel that we can really focus on. And the first one being job creation, and what can we do around as city council members to help facilitate an environment where we can do that. I believe that we can start by helping create a local hire policy, making sure that as we continue to have large public works projects that going forward, that we focus on the people that currently need jobs within our own neighborhoods in our own city. Secondly, I think we can do a lot more for small business. Currently, as the measures that we have out there are very unattainable for most small businesses. You have to have about 25 full-time employees, maybe $5 million in revenue in order to do that. And we know that most small businesses, that's a little bit more for them to obtain. The second part that I'd like to focus on is blight, and this is where I can tie in the job creation piece of that. It's very important as we have such a historic environment with our properties, but we also have an issue with blight, and so we need to focus on that, see how we can become partners with our small businesses to address this issue and help them grow their business along the way. And finally, in the area of good governance with the way that we handle business in City Hall, I would want to focus more on policy and less on being a micromanager with our departments. So thank you.
For the past decade, the City Council has rolled back the property tax rate in the city, and in fact, I believe it was this year, they actually reduced the amount collected instead of keeping it steady.
Right.
I was wondering, where do you stand on the city's property tax rate? Do you want to keep it to generate the same amount from year to year, reduce it further, or increase it to the full 6.1 mils?
I'm not in favor of increasing it to the full, but I'm definitely not in favor of reducing it. I think keep it at steady level as what was originally proposed is where I would go with it right now. I think it's a good balance overall, and the cost savings are very minimal for the individual homeowner for what is proposed recently.
If you're elected, how would you help to reduce the percentage of the number of people that are homeless in the city?
That's a great question, and you know, I think I draw a lot of this from my own personal experience growing up, and I can tell you that it's important for us to take in consideration that Cincinnati is not only home to some of the largest Fortune 500 companies, but that we have a serious poverty issue in our city. So we have to tackle both at the same time, and can't forget that element. Of course, it's not always the most popular thing to talk about, but I think what I'd like to see is from the plans for transition into homes is that we need to do more for families. Right now we're seeing that there's always been a strong focus around individuals, maybe males or females, but from my experience I don't think we have anything comprehensive, a place where families can go, and that unfortunately because of our economic situation is something that we're seeing a lot more of. And we're seeing that not only in the urban areas but in our suburbs. People that typically thought that they would never be homeless are now in that situation. So this is a very serious problem that we must tackle head on. This is, as I mentioned, this is the first time for me, and I'm very surprised. I think we're all in agreement that we need to move away from partisan politics. That we talk about that, but it's very important, though. I see it happen. This has been talked about, that when we get into office, however, is that the way to steer away from ourselves from that is that we do not have to come up with large, pronounced ideas to do our work and to play to whatever base we're trying to appeal to. It's good to work with your departments and work together instead of making a spectacle.